When you look at the first 50 or so games of the 2026 MLB season, one of the most surprising teams has been the Chicago White Sox. After losing 102 games last season, most fans would have picked the White Sox to again finish last in the AL Central coming into this season. However, through 51 games, the White Sox are 26-25. The team is currently just 3.5 games back of the Guardians in the AL Central and currently hold the second wildcard slot in the American League. This hot start has been in part due to the leading AL Rookie of the Year candidate, Munetaka Murakami. After 8 seasons in the NPB, Murakami signed a 2-year, $34 million contract with the White Sox back in December. Despite being one of the top power hitters overseas, many big league teams feared his game would not translate to the major leagues. That doesn't seem to be the case though, as through his first 51 games, Murakami is tied for the AL lead with 17 home runs and has an OPS above 900. Meanwhile, the pitching staff has also gone above and beyond. Starting pitcher Davis Martin already has nearly 3 WAR on the season through 10 starts, as he's put up 66 strikeouts in 61 innings of work with an ERA plus of 2.08. The team has also gotten a lot of help from the bullpen, as relievers Grant Taylor and Brian Hudson have both pitched more than 20 innings so far and have ERA pluses above 200. While some may say this team is just overperforming at the moment and are bound to come back down to earth at any moment, I think we're seeing the first pieces of this rebuild start to come together. So, let's hop into this rebuild in progress and see if we can bring a World Series back to the south side of Chicago. What is up, guys? Welcome back into the channel. I'm Brandon Satterwhite, and today we are doing the Chicago White Sox rebuild. Now, this is a team that, in the game, is not very highly rated, like 28th overall you see there. Their highest rated players in 83 overall. But in real life, they're doing really good. They're the surprise team of the first part of the season. I mean, they're over 500 through just about 50 games. If the season were to end today, they would be in the playoffs, and they're playing really, really good, in part to a lot of their young pieces kind of overperforming so far this season. So I think this is going to be a fun one. It might take a few more seasons than usual, especially considering, the last couple with the Red Sox and the Astros, they were much highly rated teams that weren't doing well in real life. This is a team that's doing well in real life that isn't highly rated, so we may go like 4 or 5 seasons here to get us a World Series. We'll see here. But let's go ahead and hop on into it here. All right, taking a look at the roster here. So first off, we've got like a lot of really good young pieces here. So you've got Shane Smith, 25 years old, 78 overall B potential, who, we've got him under team control for 4 more seasons. Did pretty good in 2025. Started 29 games, 146 innings, 145 strikeouts, a 3.81 ERA, 2.2 WAR. So he's really good for how young he is, and there's still plenty of room for him to grow. He's going to be cheap for us for the foreseeable future. So hopefully he just develops into, a really good pitcher for us. You have Eric Fetty, the former National, comes over, did not pitch well in 2025. He's on a 1-year deal, probably will not be here for the foreseeable future. Davis Martin, 75 overall C potential, 29 years old. If he does well, he could progress maybe a little bit up into like maybe the 80s at the most, but I really don't see him being a part of the future. We do have Sean Burke here, 26 years old, B potential. Could develop into something, did all right in 2025, not great, but not terrible either. Under team control for a while, we'll see. And then you've got a lot of like really good prospects. You've got Noah Schultz, the former first-round pick back in 2022. He's our top prospect. B potential 70 overall. Don't know if I'm going to have him up in the big leagues this year. We may keep him down in the minors. Same thing with Hagen Smith, the former first-round pick out of Arkansas, our number 3 prospect. B potential 69 overall. I kind of want these guys down in the minors this year, just so they get some reps down there. They can develop a little bit more before having to face big league hitting. Taking a look at the bullpen is not good. You got Grant Taylor here, 74 overall B potential, who has some really nice stats, some really good pitches there. If the control and the clutch can improve a bit, I think he could turn into a pretty good reliever, maybe even a closer for us. But outside of that, there's really not much here in the bullpen, so we're going to have to address that. We do have Sir Anthony Dominguez, who signed a 2-year, $20 million deal in the offseason. He's not been very good in real life, to my understanding. 75 overall B potential at 31, so he might get a little bit better, but I think closer is definitely something we're going to have to address early on here to try to get this bullpen better. Over at catcher, we have another one of our, really exciting young players in Kyle Teal. B potential 75 overall. It's 24 years old. Did pretty good in his first little bit of big league action in 2025. Had a 273 average, a 786 OPS, which is really good. Really good contact and power against righties. Incredible arm. Good enough fielder behind the plate. Hopefully that just continues to improve. And then we also have Edgar Cuero here, 22 years old, 67 overall with B potential, really good contact against left, good vision and clutch. Hopefully the fielding ability improves. Otherwise, he might be a DH option for us, or maybe a trade candidate at some point. And then at first base, we have I feel the face of the White Sox at this point. It's either him or Colson Montgomery, but Munetaka Murakami, MLB The Show 23 legend in Diamond Dynasty. That's where myself and a lot of other people first learned about Murakami and just how amazing he is. Also from the World Baseball Classic back then. He's just killing it right now. A lot of people, he was a very highly touted international free agent, but a lot of teams were kind of afraid to take a chance on him because they thought he was, just going to be, he wasn't going to pan out. But I mean, he's got a 900 OPS so far this season. He's doing incredible. He's making $17 million a year for these first 2 seasons. Probably will go up after that if he plays well in simulation, which he usually does. 25 years old, 81 overall, could really turn into a beast in this mode, I think. Over at second, we have 2 young guys here that I actually really like a lot. You have Chase Meredith, who has really good contact and really good vision, also a really good fielder. The speed really isn't there, but I'm okay with that for a second baseman. Arm strength's good, so he's going to be our starting second baseman. Sam Antonacci, really good fielder. The bat isn't quite there, but he's a better fielder than Chase Meredith, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play him over at third for now and let him be our everyday third baseman so he gets playing time this year, and then let Chase be the second baseman, because outside of Sam, we don't really have a lot here at third base. Miguel Vargas is here. He's going to be like a backup for us, but I think Sam playing third would be a lot better. Over at shortstop, we have, I guess, the other face of the Chicago White Sox right now, Colson Montgomery. Incredible power bat at short, incredible fielder over at short. Just a really good player. Hit 21 homers in only 71 games last year, and 840 OPS. Under team control for, the first 6 seasons of this rebuild. Only 24 years old, so really, really good player. Awesome to have him. We also have, a lot of other young shortstop prospects here. Got William Bagrola, 21 years old, 66 overall C potential, really good fielder. We'll see how the bat develops. Same thing with Caleb Boehmer here, or Bonemer. I don't know how you pronounce that. Former second round pick, our number 5 prospect, B potential, 66 overall. Again, a really good fielder, good speed. Need the bat to come along a little bit. And then you also got Billy Carlson, the number 1 or first round pick back in 2025 for us. Our number 6 prospect, 64 overall C potential. Again, incredible fielder, incredible arm strength. Just need the bat to come along, and he could be a really good player for us in the future. In the outfield, this is where I think this team is weakest. In left, you have Andrew Benintendi, who, has been with the White Sox for a few years now after, spending a lot of years up in Boston. Former Razorback, by the way, so I love me some Benintendi. I think it's time to probably move on from him. He's making $15 million a year. I am going to try to move him, I think, at the deadline in this first season. Behind him, you also have Jared Kelenic, former top prospect for the Mariners. Also played a couple of years for the Braves. He's just not very good, 65 overall. So I don't like either of these options here, and we don't have much behind them in terms of prospects in left. But in center, you have a Luis Angel Acuna, former Met prospect, comes over to the White Sox, playing center field, incredibly fast, good enough fielder. Contact's actually improving with him, so I'm interested to see if he can, turn into something. 76 overall, 24 years old, C potential, can also play second and short. I'm really interested to see if he can do something. And then Brooks Baldwin, 70 overall, switch hitter, C potential at 25 years old, good contact, good fielding, good power against righties. The fielding isn't great, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him over to left and let him be my starting left fielder this year to see if he can improve and progress some this year. And if so, see if, he can be an option out in left to replace Benintendi moving forward. We also do have, a couple of other young guys like Samuel Zavala here, C potential, 21 years old, good speed and fielding. We'll see how the bat develops. And then in right, you've got Austin Hayes, the former Oriole, 75 overall B potential, making $5 million a year on a 1-year deal. So, not a long-term thing there. We do have Braden Montgomery down in Double-A, former first-round pick back in 2024, our number 2 prospect, another switch hitter, B potential, really good fielder, cannon for an arm out in right field, which I always like to have. Again, need the bat to develop, and we'll see how he does. All right, lineup going into season 1 against righties, we'll have Colson Montgomery leading off, playing short, then Chase Meredith Meredith is going to play second and bat second. Then we'll have Murakami at first, batting third. Kyle Teal behind the plate cleans up. Austin Hayes out in right, bats fifth. Benintendi is the DH, batting sixth. Luis Aniel Acuna in center, bats seventh. Sam Antonacci at third, bats eighth. And then Brooks Baldwin out in left, bats ninth. Against lefties, we changed it up a bit. Austin Hayes moves into the leadoff spot, and then we have Montgomery and Murakami. Randall Grichuk moves into left field for Baldwin because he's really good against lefties. He'll clean up. Then Benintendi, Meredith, Antonacci, Acuna, and Teal is how the rest of it goes. Pitching rotation, we've got Shane Smith, Davis Martin, Eric Fetty, Sean Burke, Anthony Kay. We did sign Spencer Turnbull so that I could keep my prospects down in AAA and fill out the rest of this bullpen. So there we go. We are going to have Grant Taylor be our closer. And before we hop into season one, I just want to remind y'all, if you enjoy these rebuild videos, make sure to like the video. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We just passed 1,000 subs, so thank you all so much for that. And with all that out of the way, let's hop into season one. All right, midway point of season one, let's go take a look at the all-star team, see if any of our guys made it this year. Joe Ryan gets the start for the American League, and I don't see any of our pitchers here. Let's see if any of our guys are in the lineup. They're not starting. Rafael is here with a 747 OPS. He does have 21 homers, but a 223 average. Weird selection there. Colson Montgomery is our representative, up to an 84 overall, 93 games, 23 doubles, 23 homers, hitting almost 300 with a 913 OPS, 5.3 WAR already on the year, no errors over at short. He's absolutely killing it this year, but he is our only all-star. So right now we're 13 and a half back of the Twins, who are having just a phenomenal season in the AL Central, but we're only 1.5 back in the wild card, so I think we got a shot of maybe making it. But overall, guys seem to be doing pretty good. I'm kind of happy with how the lineup's looking. Benintendi's not doing great, so we might move him down. Rotation is looking all right for the most part. Bullpen looking pretty good. All right, I'm pretty happy with how we're doing so far. Better than I was expecting. Okay, really good draft here in year one. With the #1 overall pick, we took Benedict Connors, 21-year-old third baseman, A potential, 92 potential actually, switch hitter, can't play any other position but third base is a position of need for us. Not the best fielder, but really good bat. The power's already almost to where I would like it. The arm isn't great. He honestly might just end up being a DH for us, but I'm okay with that. And then in the second round, we got Nate Robertson, starter, 18 years old, 94 overall, already a 63 overall. Really good two-seamer, really good sinker. Just needs the per nines to come up, and I think he'll be really good. We got Stuart Heim, 81 potential, incredible power, incredible fielder over at third. So Connors might end up just being a DH while Heim ends up being the actual third baseman. And then with our last pick, we got an 89 potential starter. So I'm feeling pretty good about our draft here in year one, which is not usual for me. All right, into season one, we went 75 and 87, so not great. Did we finish last? Yeah, we were last in the Central. The Twins won 100 games, and we finished 8 games back in the wild card, so we weren't, the worst team ever, Take a look at how the team did this year. Chase Mydrith at second, pretty good season, went up from a 74 to a 78. The contact and the vision is looking really good for him. Played 153 games, 32 doubles, 11 homers, a 261 average, 341 on base, which is what I really want from my leadoff guy. 712 OPS, 2 WAR on the year. That's really good to see there. Colson Montgomery didn't do much in the second half. He had like 23 homers at the All-Star break. He finishes with only 29. Played 156 games, 35 doubles, 273 average, 812 OPS, 6.4 WAR. Was an all-star, and he also got a gold glove this year, which is cool to see. Murakami only went up 1 from an 81 to an 82, but played 140 games, 20 doubles, 28 homers, 246 average, 788 OPS, 2.5 WAR there at first base. Kyle Teal went up from a 75 to a 79, so at least he's improving. Played 134 games, 21 doubles, 15 homers, 715 OPS, 3.1 WAR. Austin Hayes was all right. Sam Antonacci actually had 17 homers. He went up 3 overall, but his average was low, on base was low, OPS was low. Nunez all right, Benintendi's not great. Brooks Baldwin went up from a 70 to a 72, played 90 games, 275 average, 745 OPS, 1.1 WAR. Okay, he might be something interesting. Pitching rotation, Shane Smith, not a bad season, 166 innings, 151 strikeouts, a 4 ERA. The whip is very high though. 1.4 whip is very high. Davis Martin was incredible. 183 innings, 110 Ks, a 3 ERA, and a 1.16 whip. So he might actually be something for us moving forward. Eric Fetty was all right. We're probably going to let him go in free agency. Sean Burke was bad. And then Anthony K was pretty good. Spencer Turnbull was good as a long reliever. John Newcomb was good out of the pen. So was Hudson. Gilbert. Grant Taylor was pretty good. Went up from a 74 to a 78. He's looking good. How'd Dominguez do as our closer? 13 blown saves. Good grief. Do have an award. Murakami gets AL Rookie of the Year. Meanwhile, Judge gets AL MVP. Trout finishes second. So good to see Trout having a good season. And then Ohtani gets NL MVP. Let's go ahead and move on to the off season here as the Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Yankees in the 2026 World Series. Okay, MLB The Show. As Kenley Jansen, Scherzer, and Verlander all go into the Hall of Fame. All right, contract decision incoming here, and we don't get him yet. Brady Singer, he signs with the Rays. Okay, they were offering him more years and more money. Okay, I see it. Dang, so that was someone I was really wanting. However, we are able to land Shane Bieber, so that is a big addition to the rotation, and let's see if we get this other guy that I offered. This would be another big free agency ad here on the first off season. No, we don't get him. Hopefully he hasn't signed anywhere else. He hasn't. Okay. Taylor Ward is someone I really, really want for like a short-term 1 or 2 year deal to help in the outfield. We are eventually able to land him on a 2-year, $23 million deal. And he's coming off a very good season. He's now the highest rated player on our team. Went up from an 84 to an 87 last year. Played 151 games, hit 35 homers, had an 813 OPS, put up 2.1 WAR. I really like that we got both of these guys here to sort of give us a bit more of a veteran presence. And I'm feeling pretty good about our team going into season 2 now. Okay, lineup going into season 2, we got Chase Mydroth leading off playing second, then Colson Montgomery at short bats second, Taylor Ward out in left bats third, Murakami at first cleans up, Kyle Teal behind the plate bats fifth, Brooks Baldwin will play out in right and bat sixth, Sam Antonacci at third bat seventh, Cunha in center is eighth, and then Benintendi is the DH batting ninth. And then against the lefties, it changes up a little bit. We bring in Edgar Cuero as the catcher, so we are going to do a bit of a platoon there at catcher. Benintendi moves up to sixth, Acuna also moves up, and then Antonacci and Baldwin move down. Rotation for this year, we've got Shane Bieber, Shane Smith, Davis Martin, Anthony K, and then Hagen Smith making his big league debut at 24 or 23 years old. Our number 5 prospect, the number 56 overall prospect, 74 overall. The control's a bit low for what I would like, but I'm hoping he still does all right. And then here's what the bullpen look like. Grant Taylor is taking over as the closer this year. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and start simulating and see how we do here in Season 2. All right, Season 2 All-Star break. Let's see if any of our guys made it this year. I see an interesting name starting for the American League. Connolly Early of the Red Sox. Only an 84 overall, but having a phenomenal year so far. 2.32 ERA is crazy. We do have Shane Bieber here, who's having a great season so far. Already 15 wins on the season, 126 innings, 108 innings, ERA just under 3. So phenomenal free agent signing for us there. None of our relievers are there. Ooh, there is Ian Happ here, who I was looking at in free agency. He is killing the ball. But Chase Mydroth, up from a 78 to a 79, is an all-star this year at second base, starting in the all-star game. 87 games, 23 doubles, 16 homers, a 325 average, and a 918 OPS, 4.3 WAR. Where did this come from? Oh my gosh, that is awesome to see. And I think that is... Nope, Taylor Ward is also an all-star, up from an 87 to an 88. 97 games, 24 homers, 281 average, 887 OPS, and 2.3 WAR so far this year. So some guys, our two big free agent signings are both all-stars, and then Chase Mydroth comes out of nowhere to be an all-star this year. What was not expecting that. But they're both doing good. Murakami's doing all right. Has 17 homers on the year and 813 OPS. It's all right. Kyle Teal's doing good. Brooks Baldwin, man, up from a 72 to a 75, hitting 284 with an 826 OPS and 1 WAR on the year. That's awesome to see. Colson Montgomery had a bit of a rough start to the season. He's kind of turned it around now, which is good to see. Sam Antonacci's not doing great. Acuna looks good, and even Benintendi looks good. So we are leading the AL Central at the moment. I would like to pick up another starter because our starters have not been good. So I would like to maybe find one on the trade block that I could bring in, like a Nick Lodolo. Pablo Lopez might be good. He's a free agent after this year, but I think he'd be a good guy to target. Okay, so I pulled off a trade to get Jose Soriano from the Angels. I gave up William Bergoa, 22-year-old C potential 70 overall shortstop. That was kind of the big thing. And then I also gave up Jared Kelenic, Sir Anthony Dominguez as well, who has been awful this year, and then William Gonzalez, a reliever in the minors who hasn't been good. Soriano's been really, really good this year. 3.53 ERA, 1.3 WHIP, 101 strikeouts in 104 innings. He's going to be a great addition to the rotation. I didn't think to check his contract, so he's got a year of arbitration after this year. Okay, so I think that means, any of these three could get taken out, but I think it means Shane Smith is going to go to the bullpen. All right, phenomenal draft here in year 2 because I had a generational prospect fall to me at number 10, Rafael Fernandez, who's already an 84 overall. Look at that bat. Look at the power, the fielding ability. Can play third, could also play first or left field. Very interesting. The other draft picks were fucking terrible. But it doesn't matter because we got an 84 overall guy. Oh my gosh, 21 years old. He's going to be our starting probably third baseman, depending on how our other third baseman that we drafted last year are progressing. He might move to left field. Maybe we move Taylor Ward somewhere. I'm not sure, but we're going to figure it out. All right, so here in season 2, we won 89 games, which was enough to win the AL Central. Thank you, AL Central, for being awful. We'll be taking on the Blue Jays in the first round of the playoffs. We are the 3 seed. We'll take a look at how everyone did this year. Chase Mydroff, we saw him. He went up from a 78 to an 80. Incredible contact bat. Was an all-star this year. Played 144 games, 41 doubles. Also hit 25 homers with, we saw his power. Not good power. 42 and 53 power. I don't know where he's getting 25 homers from, but 87 RBIs in the leadoff spot. A 332 average, a 921 OPS, 6.5 WAR. Was an all-star. Also got the Silver Slugger over at second base, which is just awesome to see. Taylor Ward was a great pickup. Went up from an 87 to an 88 this year. 160 games out and left, 31 doubles, 38 home runs, 94 RBIs, a 270 average, 864 OPS, 2.9 WAR. Also his first All-Star and his first Silver Slugger award. Murakami, went up from an 82 to an 84, 140 games, only 24 homers, 804 OPS, 2 WAR. Not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for better this year from him. Kyle Teal, pretty good, 109 games behind the plate, 28 doubles, 12 homers, a 280 average, 809 OPS. The other half of our platoon did really well. Edgar Cuero, 65 games, 19 doubles, 3 homers, 313 average, 802 OPS, and 1.6 WAR. So I think this little catcher platoon we got going is going really well for us. Brooks Baldwin, man, breakout season for him. Went from a 72 to a 76, and he's super utility. He can play any position basically except for first base. 145 games, 28 doubles, 26 homers, 74 RBIs, a 276 average, 818 OPS, and 1.1 WAR out and right. Awesome to see that. Colson Montgomery got off to a slow start, but he really picked it up in the second half. Went up from an 84 to an 86. I think this is where we start to see him just completely break out. 137 games, 29 doubles, 34 homers, 88 RBIs, a 278 average, 856 OPS, 5.6 WAR. Sam Antonacci actually went up from a 76 to a 78. The power against lefties went up from a 61 to a 73, in part because he hit 20 homers this year, also had 17 doubles and 11 triples, but he only had a 222 average and a 289 on base, 1.1 WAR. So he's going to be getting replaced by that generational talent next year. Acuna out in center, 146 games, 27 doubles, 15 homers, 235 average, 690 OPS, 2.5 WAR out in center. And then Benintendi is the DH, 162 games, 20 20 doubles, 18 homers, a 244 average, 675 OPS, was actually negative WAR on the year. So yeah, we're going to be looking for a new DH, probably a new center fielder, because I don't think Taylor Ward can play center. Baldwin could play center. His fielding ability isn't great though, so I would like someone with a bit better fielding ability to play center. But yeah, I think we're going to move on from Acuna in the offseason. Yeah, and then we also had Nick Allen as like a backup infielder, 78 games, 269 average, 682 OPS, not awful. Pitching rotation, Shane Bieber was phenomenal. Had 21 wins, 209 innings, 162 strikeouts, a 2.7 ERA. Did he get Cy Young? He did not get Cy Young this year. Oh, that sucks. All-star appearance at 31, man. Soriano, the ERA went up once he came over, but 169 innings, 162 strikeouts, a 4.09 ERA. Shane Smith made several starts. He got a little bit better once he went to the bullpen, but only pitched 117 innings, 4.69 ERA was not good. Davis Martin made 32 starts, 154 innings, 103 strikeouts, a 4.61 ERA, not good. Anthony Kay, had a really good season last year. Just wasn't good this year. And then Hagen Smith was actually all right. Went up from a 74 to a 78 as a rookie. 151 innings, 140 strikeouts, a 4.04 ERA. I don't really know how I'm going to structure the rotation for this playoff run. I guess we're going to do it kind of like that. The bullpen wasn't great. Noah Schultz came up near the end of the year. He was in the minors all year, went up from a 73 to a 78. So I think Schultz and Smith will both be in the rotation next year. But Grant Taylor was phenomenal. Went up from a 78 to an 83. 42 saves, only 7 blown saves, 56 innings, 73 strikeouts, a 2.86 ERA. So a really good year for him. League leaders, Shane Bieber led in a bunch of categories: ERA, win percentage, wins, and innings. Sammy Antonacci led in triples, and Chase Mydroff led the league with 200 hits. Awards, Kerry Carpenter gets AL MVP, just beating out Giancarlo Stanton. Michael Bush gets NL MVP. Okay, I did not know he was this good. I did not know he was this highly rated in the game. Okay. And then Max Fried gets AL Cy Young despite having fewer wins and a much worse ERA. I mean, I would have been better if it went to Crochet, but I mean, Bieber and Crochet got robbed there. So Shane Bieber against Freddie Peralta in game 1. We win 12-0. Good grief. Taylor Ward and Brooks Baldwin both homer. Chase Mydroth had 3 RBIs. Ward had 3 RBIs. Brooks Baldwin had 4 RBIs. Oh my gosh, what a performance. And then Bieber went 8 innings, 1 hit, 5 Ks, no earned. Peralta went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs. Yariel Rodriguez came in. No innings pitched, 2 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks. Yeah, that's where it got out of hand. So one more win and we're moving on to the ALDS here. Jose Soriano against Trey Yesavage, and we win it 8-0. We outscored them 20-0 in 2 games to move on to the ALDS against Boston. Shane Bieber against Garrett Crochet, the number 2 and the number 3 guy in the AL Cy Young this year. We win 4-0. We still haven't given up a run in the entire playoffs yet. Now we've got Soriano against Ranger Suarez. We lose 6-3, so we finally give up our first run through 3 games in the playoffs. Hagen Smith against Connolly Early. We win 5-2. Shane Bieber against Garrett Crochet, game 4 to go to the ALCS, and we do it. We're in the ALCS in year 2, man. Wow. We're facing the Texas Rangers in the ALCS. Shane Bieber so far 3-0 in these playoffs, 22 innings, 15 strikeouts, 8.82 ERA. Phenomenal. Got him in game 1 against Shane McClanahan. We win at 6-3. Now Jose Soriano against Jack Leiter in game 2. We win 8-7, so we take the first 2. Now going to Texas for 3 games. Hagen Smith on the bump against Mackenzie Gore. We win 3-2. We're up 3-0 in the ALCS, guys. Now Shane Bieber back on the bump against Shane McClanahan, and we sweep the Rangers in the ALCS. What is going on here? What is going on? Year 2 of the White Sox rebuild, and we're going to be playing the Phillies in the World Series. Like, what is going on? Chase Mydroff's killing it. Ward's playing good. Murakami's all right. Kyle Teal has been awful in these playoffs, but Edgar Cuero's been playing he's gotten more at bats, so he's the one that's getting the majority of the catcher at bats, and he's got a 400 average. Brooks Baldwin's killing it. Montgomery's playing good. Like, the lineups just come alive. Luis Angel Acuna's hitting 400 in the playoffs with 3 home runs. Oh my gosh, this is insane. And also, Shane Bieber is just incredible, and so is Soriano, and then the bullpen's just been pretty good. So I guess a magical run led by Shane Bieber takes us into the World Series here, and we will have Shane Bieber on the bump against Tarek Skubal. Game 1 in Philly. We win 10-6. Now Jose Soriano against Christopher Sanchez. We win 4-2, coming back to Chicago for 3 games. We've got Hagen Smith on the bump against Jesus Luzardo. We lose 5-1 there. Now it's going to be Shane Bieber against Tarek Skubal again. We lose 4-3, so we've lost the first 2 back home in Chicago. We need a win here in Chicago. Soriano against Christopher Sanchez. We win 5-4. Hagen Smith against Zach Wheeler for the World Series. We lose 4-1. So we're going to throw Shane Bieber one more time in this magical postseason run that he's had against Tarek Skubal. This will be the 3rd matchup between them here, and we're going to quick manage and see what we can do if we can win in Game 7 of the World Series in year 2 of this rebuild. Edgar Cuero's in. We're going to move Acuna up. We're also going to move Antonacci up, and Baldwin's going to move up a good bit too. I mean, Baldwin could go there, then Acuna, Antonacci, Murakami. We're going to do it like this. This is our lineup going into Game 7 of the World Series here. And just like that, Chase Mydroth leads it off with a double, and Colson Montgomery brings him home. All right, just like that, we're up 1-0 here. Let's hope Shane Bieber can continue to just be amazing. Double by Acuna. Can anyone bring him home? Yes, a double by Benintendi. We're up 2-0. And a triple by Edgar Cuero scores Ward. And now it's 3-0. And another triple by Sam Antonacci. So back-to-back triples. We're up 4-0 here in Game 7 of the World Series in Philadelphia. So we give up a 3-run shot there. We had to take Bieber out. So now we're down 5-4, but we got runners on the corners, 1 out for Montgomery. No one's able to get them home. Well, we got to get runs here. Got to get more runs. There we go. A run scored from a single by Acuna. It's back tied up. Murakami gets us a run on a single there. So we're back up 6-5. We're going to go to Mike Vassell for a scoreless inning here. Okay, we're up 1. We need some insurance here. We don't get it there. We're going to throw Vassell one more inning. Okay, we're going to bring in Grant Taylor. Strikeout. Single. So the winning run is at the plate in Kyle Schwarber. Let's hop in and watch this, actually. All right, so I'm going to make it so I'm not controlling anything. Here we go. Grant Taylor on the bump. Game 7 of the World Series. 1 out away. Schwarber at the plate. Throws a 12-6 curve in the dirt there. 1-0 count. Schwarber hitting .329 in these playoffs. The Philly faithful on their feet as he watches a fastball there on the outside corner. 1-1 now. Delivery from Taylor, swings, and it's popped up in the infield. High. Murakami underneath it, and that will do it. The Chicago White Sox are World Series champions. One of the greatest Cinderella runs we have ever seen in baseball history. The South Side are champions for the first time since, 2005 when they won? Wow. Hey, you got to get in the playoffs and you got to get hot. And once you do, there's no stopping you. This is before we even add the generational talent next year. Oh my gosh. Shane Bieber just went on a magical run. I left him in too long in this game and he gave up that 3-1 homer, so that's going to mess up his stats. But man, because yeah, I left him in too long. I was trying to get more out of him. Went 4 2/3, 9 hits, only 1 earned run, because a lot of guys reached on errors. 5 runs given up. But then the bullpen, Sean Burke came in. He gets the win. Mike Vassell went 2 innings with giving up no hits. And then Grant Taylor gets his 6th save of the postseason. RBIs in the game from Benintendi, Murakami, Montgomery, Antonacci, Acuna, and Cuero. So everyone really was pulling their weight here in this series as we go 7 games and we win a World Series in year 2 with probably one of the worst teams I've ever won a World Series with. We only won 89 games. That is insane. There you have it. The White Sox have won the World Series. This is a lot different from my other World Series teams in these other rebuilds. Like usually, either it's a team that's already pretty good, like the Red Sox or the Astros, and we win it in year 1 or 2, and we usually have done a lot of stuff to get them better. Like we do a lot of trades, we do a lot of free agency. This is just a team, they just got hot. We got Shane Bieber. He was really hot in the playoffs. The bullpen was shut down and the lineup was really, really good. Let's go see who got the MVP award. Sam Antonacci gets World Series MVP. Acuna gets playoff MVP. We both know those should really be, Acuna should get playoff MVP, but really both of those should be going to Shane Bieber. I mean, 3 wins. It's just every single time he came up, he was killing it. Oh my gosh, what a run, man. And now we get to come back next year and add more young guys that are just going to keep getting better to this team. This is a really good team. And Paul Goldschmidt's going to go into the Hall of Fame here. We have no free agents, actually. I did sign a couple of guys during the season to extensions. I signed Benintendi. He's going to be making 1.6 mil. He's just going to be a bench bat / AAA guy from now on. But he did win a ring for us. Brooks Baldwin is definitely going to be like part of this outfield going forward after this breakout season. I think he's going to be our starting right fielder. I'm actually going to go ahead and move him over there. Braden Montgomery went up a lot, though. Went up from a 69 to a 74. He's probably going to get another year down in AAA, and then we'll see if he ends up getting the jump. He's actually a pretty decent fielder, so he might end up being the center fielder. We can't move on from Acuna now, though, because he was a playoff hero. We have to bring him back for at least one more season. We do have like these two shortstop prospects. They're probably going to be down in the minors for another year. The bat just isn't where it needs to be for them to be in the bigs. Maybe Bonnemer could, the contact's all right. But this guy is going to be MLB. He's never going to the minors. He's going to start in the majors day one, which then it's like, what do we do with Sam Antonacci? Because, the average and on base were bad, but a lot of extra base hits. He did strike out a lot, doesn't walk very much, but he does play good defense. He was really good in the playoffs. So question becomes, what do we do with him? Chase Mydroth is, a new star on this team now as our leadoff guy, hit 332. Murakami, I don't think he's going to do what he's doing in real life. Right now he's got like a 900 OPS. In his first season, so I don't think he's going to reach that here. Kyle Teal and Edgar Cuero are just going to continue to platoon at catcher. We're going to move Grant Taylor over, let him be the closer. I think all we really need is maybe another. We're going to have Schultz and Hagen Smith both in the rotation, so I may try to move on from Sean Burke, depending on what he wants in arbitration. We'll see about Shane Smith. We'll give him one more chance because he is just so highly rated. Went up from an 82 to an 85. Give him one more chance. And yeah, there's really not a lot to do with this team. The only position I might try to improve on is center field if there's someone just really, really good out there that I like in free agency, but I don't know. Okay, so I think I found our upgrade in center field. Byron Buxton's on the trade block. He's 34. He's starting to regress down from a 97 to a 96, but he had a really good year, 42 doubles, 32 homers, 904 OPS. He is pretty cheap. He's only making 14 mil this next year. I offered Shane Smith, Drew Thorpe, Anthony Kay, and I think some left fielder. They took the left fielder off and they just want these three guys. Anthony Kay was awful last year after having a pretty good 2026 with us. Shane Smith, I get it. He's up from an 82 to an 85. He might turn into something really, really good. But just the last couple of years, he hasn't been good. I'm going to make room for the other young starters. And then Drew Thorpe's been good down in AAA, but and he actually was all right in relief this year in his little bit, but I'm going to accept this trade, and we're going to get Byron Buxton. And then we're also going to throw now Acuna and Derek Hill on the trade block to try to get rid of them. That means this upcoming season, our rotation's looking like Bieber, Soriano, Hagen Smith, Schultz, and then maybe Sean Burke. He was awful this past year, but maybe he does better this year. He did improve from a 76 to an 80. 28 years old, still has beat potential. He could improve a lot. Or we sign someone in free agency. I am going after a few guys. And here's Hunter Dobbins, who was pretty good last year. All right, so we did get a free agent. We got Pete Fairbanks on a 1-year, 11 mil deal. It's a lot for a reliever, but I'm willing to do it. Grant Taylor's going to stay the closer, so Fairbanks is just going to be a regular old reliever now, but he was really, really good last year, so I think that's a good piece to get for us. And then closing in on a starter that I really, really want to add to this rotation. Contract decision coming for this starter, who would be probably the new number 2 starter for us. We don't get him this time, but he's still out there. Justin Steele was phenomenal last year. You look at his stats, 15 wins, 199 innings, 171 strikeouts, a 2.89 ERA, went up from an 87 to an 88, 32 years old. So, he's going to get older, but I'm willing to give him 2 years, 28 mil to try to help us run it back next year. Let's see if he signs here. Hopefully he does. There we go. We got Justin Steele. Okay. So I think we're pretty set now. We improved center field, which was our weakest position. And now we've got another top tier starter. So I think we're good to move on to season 3. Okay. lineup going into season 3. Chase Mydroth playing second will still lead off. Then we've got Byron Buxton out in center. Colson Montgomery at short will bat third. And then Taylor Ward will clean up in left. Murakami at first bats fifth. The new generational prospect, Rafael Fernandez, 84 overall as a rookie, plays third, bats sixth. Kyle Teal at catcher bats seventh. Brooks Baldwin out right bats eighth. And then Benintendi as the DH bats ninth. Actually, is there someone better to throw against righties? No, there isn't. And then against lefties, Murakami moves up to number 3, Fernandez moves up to 5, Montgomery moves down to 6, Baldwin moves up to 7, Cuero comes in at catcher, then tempted to throw Sam Antonacci in at DH against lefties, but I think I'll leave Benintendi in for now. Rotation for the year, we've got Bieber, then Justin Steele, Jose Soriano, and then the young guys Hagen Smith and Noah Schultz, and then here's what the bullpen is going to look like. So hopefully we can do even better than last year and try to win another World Series with this White Sox team. All right, halfway through season 3, let's go take a look and see how our boys are doing. Ryan Nelson, an 84 overall pitcher for the A's, is getting the start for the American League. And Grant Taylor is an all-star. Despite having an ERA over 4, he does have 20 saves, 64 strikeouts, and only 41 innings. He is killing it. And the rest of our guys, Rafael is back as an all-star. Okay, so he's actually starting to play very well. The average and stuff's coming up. Okay. Okay, Colson Montgomery, he's regressed from an 86 to an 84, but he's still an all-star. 82 games, 13 doubles, 14 homers, 790 OPS. So he's actually not doing that great, but he is our one all-star, it looks like, this year. We are 2 games back in the Central, but we're 1.5 up for a wild card spot. Let's go see how everyone's doing. Chase Mydroth still doing phenomenal. Byron Buxton playing very well, 858 OPS. Like we said, Colson Montgomery not doing great. Might actually swap. Murakami's not doing amazing. Taylor Ward doing all right. He's regressing. Rafael Fernandez, the rookie, is up to an 86 overall. He has a 757 OPS so far, already 15 home runs on the year. Kyle Teal's doing all right. Brooks Baldwin all right. Benintendi's doing pretty good. Like, the lineup isn't killing it, it seems. So that's a little disappointing. The rotation, Shane Bieber looking really good for the second straight year. Justin Steele looking all right. We did end up making Sean Burke a starter again because Jose Soriano was just awful. Hagen Smith's doing all right. Noah Schultz doing very good in his first season. We did take Grant Taylor out of the closer role because Pete Fairbanks was doing very well, and Grant Taylor, like we said, had an ERA over 4, already 6 blown saves on the year. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn him into like a full-time reliever to get more innings out of him because he's striking guys out like crazy. So if we can get, more than just 1 inning out of him a game, that would be pretty good for us. All right, I pulled off a good trade. We went and got Garrett Whitlock from the Red Sox, 87 overall reliever. We needed help in the bullpen. I gave up nothing for him. Mike Vasil is a reliever we had that was awful this year, and then some guys that we had down, minors, are on the bench. Here's what the draft picks look like this year. We got, a couple of decent starters, one that's already 69 overall, so, he could be up in the bigs within a year or two, but overall not a great draft for us. And at this point, we are 7 games back in the Central, and we're a half game back of a wild card, but hopefully, adding Whitlock and making some moves helps us to, get back to the playoffs this year. So let's see how we do the rest of this season. All right, so end of season 3, we won 92 games, which is more than we won last year, but we are a wild card team this year. We'll be taking on the Astros in the wild card round. Go see. So the Tigers, they won 100 games. We finished 8 games back of them. They took the Central, and we had the second wild card. The Astros have the top wild card, and then the Mariners and Blue Jays tied for the last one, with the Mariners taking the tiebreaker. We go take a look at how our team did. Chase Mydroth is just incredible. Went up from an 80 to an 82 this year. 144 games over at second, 36 doubles, 27 homers, 73 RBIs, a 310 average, a 394 on base, 919 OPS, man, 6.7 WAR. Second straight all-star appearance for him. Byron Buxton went down from a 96 to a 95. Played 139 games though, 45 doubles, 30 homers, 102 RBIs, an 859 OPS, 5.6 WAR out in center field. Colson Montgomery, not great, went down actually across the board, went from an 86 to an 84. Played 137 games, only 18 doubles and 29 homers. He was just bad this year. 241 average, 771 OPS, 4.4 WAR over at short. Did have an all-star appearance this year though. Taylor Ward starting to regress down from an 88 to an 86, but still a pretty good year. 151 games, 31 doubles, doubles, 31 homers, 267 average, 830 OPS, 3.9 WAR out in left. Murakami kind of doing the same thing. Went down from an 84 to an 83, 159 games, 25 homers, 100 RBIs, 774 OPS, 1.5 WAR. Rafael Fernandez as a rookie went up from an 84 to an 88, played 137 games, 31 doubles, 22 homers, 86 RBIs, had an 800 OPS, put up 3 WAR over at third base, and won AL Rookie of the Year. Kyle Teal played 111 games behind the plate, 17 homers, a 276 average, 818 OPS, and 3.3 WAR. Brooks Baldwin out in right did pretty good, 141 games, 29 doubles, 15 homers, 263 average, 746 OPS, 0.4 WAR. Then Benintendi as the DH actually went up from a 73 to a 75 at age 33. Played 162 games, 21 doubles, 23 homers, and a 692 OPS and negative WAR. Sam Antonacci coming off the bench, played 51 games, had a 272 average, 732 OPS. Acuna also as our bench outfielder, 50 games for him, 256 average and a 794 OPS. And then Edgar Cuero as our platoon bat at catcher, played in 67 games, 7 homers, a 248 average, 717 OPS, and 1 WAR. Looking at the rotation, Shane Bieber had another really good season, 14 wins, 194 innings, 130 strikeouts, and a 3.05 ERA. Justin Steele was a really good pickup in free agency, 17 wins, 186 innings, 151 strikeouts, and a 3.29 ERA. Sean Burke, improved significantly from last year. Only started 19 games for us, but threw 124 innings, 108 strikeouts, a 2.9 ERA. Egan Smith, not as good as last year. Noah Schultz, all right for a rookie. Jose Soriano was just bad. Started 13 games, but even then still 83 innings, 82 strikeouts, but a 6.18 ERA is terrible. Grant Taylor did a lot better when we made him a full-on reliever. Got into 85 games, threw 84 innings, and had 122 strikeouts with a 3.42 ERA. That is insane. Garrett Whitlock was amazing when he came over. 73 games, 85 innings, 66 strikeouts, and 2.75 ERA. And then Pete Fairbanks was pretty good as the closer, had 19 saves, only 5 blown saves, and a 3.13 ERA. Here we go, 3-game set in Houston. We're going to have Shane Bieber on the bump against Hunter Brown. We win it 4-3. Now Justin Steele against Tatsuya Imai. We lose 7-5. Finally, Sean Burke against Zach Little. We win it 5-1, so we're going back to the ALDS, and we're going to be facing the Red Sox, who we faced here last year. Game 1 is going to be Shane Bieber against Garrett Crochet. We lose 4-3. Now Justin Steele against Ranger Suarez in Game 2. We lose 9-2, and then Sean Burke against Peyton Tolley Game 3. We lose 4-2, so we get swept by the Red Sox there, but we did at least make it to the ALDS, so we won a series. And now the Phillies get another NL pennant, and now they beat the Athletics to get their World Series. So looks like Harper finally gets him a World Series title. I think I'm going to go one more season just because, one, I want to see kind of how this team does one more year, see if Montgomery or Murakami pan out or if they just kind of start to fall off a cliff. And also I want to see more of this generational prospect we drafted at third base as Salvador Perez and Freddie Freeman go into the Hall of Fame there. All right, so I pulled off a trade. I got rid of Jose Soriano and his fat contract because he was awful. I threw in Perry Short, 20-year-old C potential. 73 overall, he's one of our better picks. He got him back in, I think, season 1, round 4. I also got rid of Sam Antonacci, but we got 2 really good relievers. Eric Zabrowski had a 3 ERA last year in 64 games, was really good. And then we also get this closer, B potential, 81 overall at 22 years old. He's a top 100 prospect. Just looks really good. He's going to start in the bullpen for us this year. So that is a big improvement in 2 ways. One, it frees up a little bit extra budget for us. Now we have about 38 mil to spend as opposed to 20 mil to spend. So that's actually a big improvement. And also now the bullpen looks pretty darn good right now. Honestly, Grant Taylor, if he had better stamina, he would be a killer starting pitcher. But 122 strikeouts and 84 innings. This guy's going to be we're just going to have him be a middle reliever instead of being a closer. We're going to probably let Fairbanks be the closer again, and then we'll see how Lopez does as a reliever. So I'm feeling good about the bullpen. We'll see how Smith, Burke, and Schultz do. We might go get a top-tier starter at some point, because now we can afford to, possibly. All right, contract decision incoming for our first free agent that we're going to try to get here. I think we're going to get him. Yes, we did. Okay, so roll with me on this. We've got Vinny Pasquantino. Murakami's all right, but 1, he's not a good fielder over at first, and 2, just hasn't really been that great. We're going to DH him, and we're going to let Vinny be our new first baseman. Ooh. And here's another one I'm going to do. Chad Patrick, 80 overall reliever for Acuna. I've been looking to move Acuna for a while, but this is the first deal I actually like. So yeah, we're going to move Acuna. And I think that's all I'm going to do because the team is looking really good now. I really like where we're at. Out and right, I don't know if we're going to go back to Brooks Baldwin or if we're going to let Braden Montgomery play. We might actually platoon them out and right because Brooks is really good against righties and then Braden's really good against lefties. So we may do a little platoon there for this year. Yeah, I think I'm feeling pretty good about the team going into season 4. All right, lineup going into the final season. Season 4, Chase Mydreth again leads off for us. Then Byron Buxton in center. Pascantino at first. Rafael Fernandez at third cleans up. Then Colson Montgomery at short. Taylor Ward in left, Murakami now the DH, Brooks Baldwin in right, and Kyle Teal as the catcher. And then against lefties, Fernandez moves up to the 2 slot. Pascantino moves down to 3. Then Buxton, Ward, Murakami, Montgomery, Braden Montgomery comes in at right, and Edgar Cuero comes in at catcher. Rotation for the year is going to be Bieber, Steele, Burke, Smith, and Schultz. And here is what the bullpen looks like. Pretty good bullpen. One of the better ones I've built over the last few rebuilds. So let's start simulating and see how we do here in season 4. All right, we're at the All-Star break here in season 4. Let's check on the All-Star teams one more time. So Justin Steele is the number 2 pitcher for the American League. He's having another really good year for us. And then Pete Fairbanks as our closer. Already has 22 saves on the year, 3.45 ERA, so he's doing really good. And then Byron Buxton is starting in center. He's having another really good year, 24 homers, a 907 OPS so far on the year. Let's see, did we get anyone else? I doubt it. No, we did not. So those are our all-stars for the year. And overall, I feel like the team's doing pretty good. You know, I mean, Colson Montgomery, man, a bit disappointing. He never really progressed throughout this, you know, especially the last 2 seasons have been bad. Murakami actually having, you know, one of the better years we've seen from him. A 386 on base is really, really good. A 912 OPS, so finally it seems he's doing what we had hoped he would. Taylor Ward is regressing. Chase Mydreth was not good this year, so we moved him down in the lineup some. Brooks Baldwin's doing good, and the rotation seems to be doing pretty good too, you know. I think we may swap Noah Schultz for River Ryan here, who we picked up on waivers from the Dodgers. Other than that, like, the bullpen's looking really, really good. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this team. We're 1.5 up in the division, so let's go ahead and sim to the end of the season. Okay, I just thought this was pretty funny. Wafield Devers gets traded back to Boston after several years, after 4 years in San Francisco. He gets traded back to Boston. Thought that was funny. All right, into season 4, we won 93 games and won the AL Central again. We'll be taking on our division rival, the Tigers, in the first round of the playoffs. Let's go see how everyone did. Kyle Teal had probably one of the best seasons we've seen from him. 124 games, 23 doubles, 19 homers, a 274 average, 826 OPS, 5.2 WAR, which is really, really good. Byron Buxton, another really good year at 35 years old. 140 games, 33 doubles, 38 homers, 107 RBIs. He's now over 300 career homers at a 915 OPS, 6.9 WAR. What is this? This is 2029, so he was an all-star this year, but that's it. Vinny Pascantino, first year here with us, 146 games over at first, 24 doubles, 44 homers, 105 RBIs, and 857 OPS, 3.2 WAR. Rafael Fernandez up to an 89 overall, played 140 games, 27 doubles, 25 homers, 66 RBIs, 254 average, 794 OPS, 2.9 WAR. Not as good as I was hoping for from him. Murakami did pretty good moving over to DH, played 162 games, had 32 homers, his first 30 homer season, 263 average, 364 on base, 836 OPS, and 2 WAR on the year. Colson Montgomery really turned it around in the second half. That's kind of a theme with him. He gets off to these slow starts and then turns it around. Ended up with 29 doubles, 28 homers, 83 RBIs, a 264 average, 816 OPS, 5.2 WAR. Taylor Ward regressed big time, down to 86 to 82. Still all right, 145 games, only 18 doubles, 22 homers. Still had a 334 on base, which means he had a 741 OPS, 1.7 WAR out there in left field. Brooks Baldwin did pretty good, 134 games, 27 doubles, 20 homers, 268 average, 781 OPS. Negative WAR. His fielding is not good. And then Chase Mydrith, all right, but not as good. 30 doubles, 15 homers, 255 average, a 707 OPS, which, I mean, after having a 900 OPS the last 2 seasons, I mean, that's terrible. Edgar Quero went up big time from 75 to a 78, 55 games, had a 283 average, 847 OPS. Braden Montgomery went up from a 76 to a 79 in his first big league action, played 84 games, only had a 212 average, 619 OPS, .6 WAR, so he's a pretty good fielder at least. And then Miguel Vargas as the backup infielder, 42 games, a 300 average, and an 831 OPS. Looking at the rotation, Shane Bieber, another really good year, 153 strikeouts, 3.58 ERA. Justin Steele, a 3.11 ERA, 156 strikeouts, and 185 innings. Sean Burke wasn't as good as he was last year, but actually, no, bad. It was bad for him this year. Hagen Smith had a 4.26 ERA. River Ryan was really good. We picked him up off waivers. 118 innings, 113 strikeouts. He'll probably be the number 3 starter in the playoffs for us. Noah Schultz had an ERA over 5. Davis Martin was really good. He was a main reliever for us this year, which I want him to continue to be. Pitched in 57 games, 82 innings, 62 strikeouts, 2.4 ERA in relief. Jonathan Cannon did all right as a reliever as well for us, 85 innings, a 4.32 ERA. Grant Taylor, the ERA's high for him, but in 85 innings, he had 113 strikeouts as a reliever. So kind of Dellin Betances, but not, as good with the ERA. If the control and that hits per 9 were a little bit higher, he'd be so good as a reliever. Garrett Whitlock, 66 innings, 2.85 ERA. Jason Lopez, this rookie that we got in the trade for Acuna, was amazing. 50 games, 57 innings, 68 strikeouts, a 2.5 ERA. And then Pete Fairbanks was really good as the closer, had 36 saves, not only 9 blown saves, but 60 innings, 58 strikeouts, and a 3.75 ERA. So the bullpen was amazing for us this year. So here we go again. 3-game set in the wild card round. Shane Bieber against Joe Ryan, and we win it 5-4 now. Justin Steele against Luis Heel in game 2, and we win it. So we sweep our division rival to move on to the ALDS, this time against the Athletics, who were in the World Series last year and lost to the Phillies. All right, we got Shane Bieber on the bump here against Chris Bubich, game 1 of the ALDS. We win it 11-5. Now Justin Steele against Framber Valdez, we win 7-4. 1 win away from going back to the ALCS. River Ryan against Spencer Strider, we lose 9-2. Shane Bieber against Chris Bubich, we lose 14-2. So now going to game 5, Justin Steele against Framber Valdez again, and we win it 2-1, and we beat the Athletics. We're going to be taking on Boston in the ALCS. We've faced Boston every single time we've gone to the playoffs in this rebuild. So game 1 is going to be Shane Bieber against Garrett Crochet. We lose 8-2. Now River Ryan against Ranger Suarez. We lose 11-3. Justin Steele against Peyton Tolley back in Chicago. We win 6-0. Now Shane Bieber against Brian Bello. We win 4-1, so it's tied 2-2. River Ryan against Garrett Crochet. We win 15-4, so we sweep in Chicago. Just need one of these two in Boston to win our second World Series in 4 years. Justin Steele against Ranger Suarez. And yes, there we go. We're going back to, I said win our second World Series. We're going back to the World Series for the second time in 4 years. So we win in 6. We come back from a 2-0 deficit, and now we have to face the Dodgers in the World Series. All right, here we go. Game 1 of the World Series. Shane Bieber against Shohei Ohtani. We lose 11-0. Good grief. Shane Bieber goes 4 2/3, gives up 5 earned runs, home runs from Will Smith, Kyle Tucker, and 2 from Ian Happ. I knew I should have signed him in free agency all those years ago. River Ryan against Yamamoto. We win 8-5, so it's 1-1 coming back to Chicago. Justin Steele against Emmett Sheehan. We win 8-5. Now Shane Bieber against Shohei Ohtani, and we lose 7-2, so it's 2-2. Very important game 5 here. River Ryan against Yamamoto, and we win it 8-3, so we're up 3-2. Just need one of these last two in LA. Justin Steele, who has a 2.17 ERA against Roki Sasaki here, and there we go. We win it 4-3 to win our second World Series. We had 3 RBIs from Murakami and 1 from Taylor Ward. So Murakami was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs on the day. Justin Steele goes 5 2/3, gives up 1 earned run. Then Cannon gets an inning and a third. Whitlock gets an inning. Fairbanks has a blown save, goes another inning and a third. Lopez gets the win, goes an inning and 2/3. And then Grant Taylor gets the save, getting the final out in 11 innings. Dang. So game 6 of the World Series, we win it in LA. We win 2 World Series in 4 years with this team, including that first one, which was just Shane Bieber got hot and got us, multiple wins in each series, which, can happen. Brooks Baldwin gets World Series MVP, this guy that, never really got that high of overall, 76 overall, but, played well in, a limited amount in 2026 and won that right fielding job, played really well in 27, still played all right in 28, and then came back in 29 really, really good. So, he kind of locked down that spot, and then Byron Buxton, playoff MVP, still a 95 overall at 35 years old in his second season here after being traded here last year, gets himself a World Series. Chase Mydreth was amazing in these playoffs, even though he had a bit of a down regular season, and then Vinny Bascantino was a great addition. Just overall, a really, really good team, and I mean, this team could stick around and, be really good for years to come, especially with this generational prospect in Rafael Fernandez. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a career sim on him, because I've never drafted a generational player before, because a lot of these rebuilds, I've been doing somewhat better teams, so I'm not really picking in the top 10 a whole lot. Here, I had the 10 pick, he fell to me at 10. I knew he was generational. He had all the signs of being generational, and we got him. He was an 84 overall right off the bat. Incredible player, and I'm really excited to see how his career progresses. So I'm probably going to do a career sim with him in another video. If you want to see that, make sure to like this video and let me know down in the comments if you want to see that. Also, subscribe to the channel, and thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, that's another 2 World Series for the White Sox. Who'd have thought?